Hello, I'm here on lichess.org and I'm going to be solving or attempting to solve a set of 10 chess puzzles. As I do that, I'll be going through my thoughts, and yeah, let's see how we go. So white has just played queen to move here. That is a check. I have to be a bit careful where I move my king. If I move my king down here, for instance, white will have a check, either here or here, forcing me to move my king again somewhere, and then white can take my queen. So let's not move my king here. If I block, takes, doesn't work for white. If I block, takes also doesn't work for white. So this is an interesting option actually, because white has to move the queen somewhere to guard the knight, but there really isn't that many options. In fact, I don't think there are any options after rook here. This doesn't work, because this rook is guarding. That's not guarding the knight. In fact, the queen has to go back here. This is the only safe square. And then we just take the knight for free. So that's a bit funny actually. The discovery that I mentioned at the start for white is actually working against white at the moment. Because after rook here, they can't do the automatic recapture. White does it anyway to save material. Good puzzle. Alright, next. First move that comes to mind is to kick the bishop. We can take a pawn. If we move the knight somewhere, then we're threatening the bishop. So that might come in handy. We could take here and be on the bishop. But I'm thinking knight here, attack the bishop, and also attack here. And that will be a double threat. So my instinct to attack the bishop is not relevant. Attack the bishop by playing pawn b3. It's not relevant here because there's a stronger move. Great. Okay, so we can't take the pawn due to this pin. Sorry, we can't take the rook due to the pin. We have a check, after which we can win the rook. I'm wondering why we can't do that. After rook here, sorry, after queen here, king here, we could also play this. However, black has queen here in that case. Queen here, idea being that queen here, the king can escape. And also the queen guards the rook. However, after queen here, king here, rook here, queen here, we can take here, but now our king side is a bit more compromised. So they're the two options at the moment that I'm considering. After queen here and then takes, it just looks very nice. Unless black is threatening something. It takes off one of black's pieces. Looks very solid. Okay, well this is the first move for sure. These are my two options I'm considering. Look, I think it's just taking the rook. Yeah, okay. Let me just have a look at this. How do I do that? Turn on the engine. And as we're waiting for the engine to load, I'll just go over the line again. So it's rook here. The one that I was considering that I didn't end up playing. Okay, so rook b8 is popping up in the computer here, and it's saying minus 4.3. So let's have a look at that and why that's the case. Okay, I was thinking queen here to protect the rook, but apparently queen f6 is minus 4.6. So queen here is 0 valuation, meaning that it's even for white and black. After takes and rook d5, queen here, king here, and I think the idea is that the best that black can do. Black is down a piece, but black has a lot of pieces around white's king, and white's king is quite exposed. So in this scenario, I imagine that the best thing that black can do is do a perpetual check. That's why the computer says 0.00. However, the move that I didn't see was queen f6. So it's attacking the rook. It's a bit of a bizarre move. Don't entirely see the point, because I am attacking two of black's pieces at the moment. So let's say that we move the rook. How is black getting away from this? Okay, so I think the point is that black is just getting a lot of activity here. If we try and take here, it's going to be mate in a few. Yeah. And that's checkmate, yeah. Okay, interesting puzzle. I missed this queen f6 idea. Queen f6 and basically just a lot of pieces to come into the attack. Okay, next puzzle. Immediately I'm thinking rook here, because if rook takes, then we can take back with either the queen or the pawn, and that will be checkmate. However, if rook here, then king takes here. So I think the move is queen here, forcing rook takes, and then get a queen, and that'll be checkmate. Okay, nice and quick one there. Okay, this is a bit messy, this position at the moment. There's a bishop attacking a bishop, the knight is attacking the bishop and the queen, and this bishop is attacking a queen. So a fair bit going on. Let's try and break it down and see which is the strongest threat. So I can take their queen. Let's have a look at this line. So I take their queen, they take my queen. So that's an even trade. That comes with a check, so I have to react to that. So let's say that I take the knight, and then they take my bishop. So all in all, that's an even trade. But keep in mind that black just took our knight here, so we'd be down a piece from that whole transaction. So I think we start with bishop takes, just so that we don't end up losing the bishop at the end of the line. King takes. And then... okay, so after we do that, then we can give a check, for example, here or here. probably here is better, just so that there's no f5 move to counter-attack the queen. And then we can take the queen. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Great. Next puzzle. Looking for checks. So bishop here, knight takes, doesn't lead to anything. Queen here, however, is a very strong threat. King has to go down. And now it feels like there must be something here. Notice that the bishop and the pawn guard these 3 squares. So that's very important. If the queen comes here, then it also guards this diagonal. And of course it guards this as well. The rook is guarding here, so it would force king to go here. And these 3 squares, covered by the bishop and the pawn. So if we just have one more piece to attack the king, then that would be checkmate. However, we don't have a spare piece, so we might have to get a bit creative. I'm thinking rook here. The king can't go anywhere, so knight would have to take, and then we can go queen takes. And actually that's a checkmate, so yeah, that'll be the answer. Great. Okay, so white has forked us. That's no good. We can get out of the fork by playing queen here, after which white doesn't have time to take our rook because we take their queen. And if queen here, queen takes, then we can take the queen. So that's a way to get out of the fork. And in that line, I think this knight is actually going to get trapped. So let's say queen here, queen takes, rook takes. This knight is under attack and would like to move somewhere. But none of these squares are actually available. And there's no rook here to protect the knight in that line. So I do believe that that is the answer. I don't think I can play any other queen move because after the trade of queens, we need the rook to recapture. Great. Next. So I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 puzzles. This is puzzle 8. Okay. So we're actually down a pawn in this endgame. But the pawns here are very strong. So I'm thinking either we can somehow push our pawns, or sorry, not this. Somehow we can push the pawns and just crash through. Or we bring our king up. But bringing our king up will be quite slow. This bishop is really nicely trapped by our knight, which is excellent. So let's calculate some forcing moves. If pawn push, king over, pawn push, king here, we don't have time to queen. So that's important. We can take here, threatening to push and to take. So after takes, black has to recapture. And then we can go push here. And regardless of if black pushes or takes, we can just push all the way through. If black takes in that line, then we can recapture. I'm just wondering if we can go pawn push here first or not. If pawn push, then pawn push here. And then again, if we push, then king comes in. So the solution will be to take, and then to push here. And basically the idea is we want to push the pawns that are furthest away from the king, because then the king won't have time to come in and stop us from getting a queen. Cool. Okay, 2 more puzzles. We have knight takes here, knight here ideas. Material is even. This actually might just be winning. Idea being, if the bishop moves somewhere, well, actually, bishop is trapped. Oh, no, sorry. Bishop can take here. But this is still interesting. Here, bishop takes, and I guess it's just a trade. The idea is if queen takes here, then queen takes here would lead to mate after queen blocks and queen takes queen. However, after pawn push, bishop takes, black does not have to recapture. So for example, black could play pawn push here, and then it's just obstacle bishops, and there's no real win there. However, we could change the move order up. So knight takes here, queen takes, and then pawn push. Bishop moves somewhere, then we take the queen. Bishop doesn't move somewhere, then we take the bishop. And if pawn push, so if knight takes, pawn push, queen attacks our bishop, pawn takes bishop, then our queen is defending the bishop, so queen takes bishop doesn't work. Oh, I nearly accidentally moved that pawn. That would have been bad. Knight here, queen here, pawn push, queen here, takes, queen check, here, queen check, here. I don't want to go there. Is that a repetition? Okay, no. Knight takes, pawn push, queen here, pawn takes, queen check, queen blocks. And there's no repetition, and that'll be a win for white. So I believe that that is the solution. Excellent. And we'll do one more. This is a forcing move, attacking the queen. And actually the queen does not have many squares to go. Bishop cuts off the queen here. Knight guards these squares. Bishop guards this square. This square is available for the queen. This is guarded by the bishop, and this is by the pawn. This is guarded by the queen and the king. So after here, forces queen here. And then g4. And that's just a trapped queen. If we go here, then the queen can go here or here. And there's no other ways to attack the queen, so I believe this is just a simple queen trap. Ah, okay, so I missed something here. Which is really slack of me, actually. The idea is we are also going to lose our queen. That's what black is hoping, at least. I really should have seen this, but I didn't, so now we have to figure out what to do. Also note, black is threatening checkmate here, because I can't recapture as I was planning on doing in other lines, because the queen is pinned to the king. So this is a nice checkmate in one threat that black has. If I take here, then that'll be checkmate. So let's not do that. I can put something on c4, so for example I could play pawn here. And that might actually just be best. Because after pawn here, if pawn takes, then I can for example take here. Then there's pawn push. And maybe I can take, and then move my bishop back. After which I would be up a piece, however in that line there is pawn takes here, and so the pieces are actually even. If takes, that's an even trade as well. So I'm thinking pawn push, pawn takes, knight takes, but then bishop takes. And also after pawn push, this bishop takes immediately. But that might not be so bad. Okay, so let's have a look again. Sorry, my computer's being a bit slow here. But that'll give me time to think. So, pawn push, pawn takes, knight takes, bishop takes. Yeah, it's a bit of a problem, because after if I take with the queen, then queen takes here. And after pawn push, pawn takes, knight takes, bishop takes. If I take with a knight, then the queen can escape to one of these two squares. Tricky. Is knight here an option? No, but then just bishop takes here. And that's with check. I have to respond to that. So I think my candidate moves are bishop takes here and putting something on c4, probably a pawn. Let's go pawn here. Pawn takes. Takes. Pawn push. Takes. Takes. I do have knight here. He can take my bishop. Pawn push. Takes. Oh, I wonder if I have knight takes in that line. Oh. Does this work? Pawn push. I take with check. Recaptures. Takes, 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 takes. There's nothing there. Pawn push has to be the answer. Okay. White plays a move I did not expect at all. And then here I can just take the queen. So that's easy. That's very confusing. I do not understand what happens after pawn takes here. Okay, I still take the queen. Pawn push. Ah, you just put a knight here. Ah, silly me. Okay, so that's 10 chess puzzles. I'll stop the video here. But before I do, just want to say a big thank you to everyone who is watching and following. Please do like and subscribe if this is something you want to keep on watching, and let me know if you have any suggestions about what you want to see next. I'm always open to suggestions and would love to hear your thoughts. Thanks. Bye.